Alright. Well, yesterday against Wolves, man, what can I say? You know them way. What can I say, man? Like, you can only beat your what's in front of you. You know them way. And for the first time, this season, Man United managed to capitalize when our rivals around us have dropped points for the first time. And the thing about it is that in this game, right, I'm not gonna get all gassed because of because let me just say this, right? It's Wolves blood. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it 100 here. It's only Wolves. And let's start, man, like how this game was, because this game, yeah, we were moving the ball here very slowly, and we started slow, but there were times here where that there were spaces here for the players, man, to run into, to make the runs and that. And I remember when I was watching the game, and I was like, come on, guys, man, like get into the spaces, because I can see spaces here in behind. I can see spaces here behind Ahmad when they were doing some kind of like link play. I was like, come on, guys, man, come on, pass the ball, get into the space, get into space. But what I've realized is that if we don't have patterns of play, the players, they're going to think twice on what they're going to do. And the thing about it is that if things, yeah, all right, let me put it this way, right? If there were patterns of play, things become automatic because you trained it on the training ground, right? So what happened is, like for example, if I'm running into the box, I will know exactly where certain players will be. Like for example, Cunha will be in the box. Bruno will be at the edge of the box. So if I'm in like an Embremo or Ama situation, I know instinctively, automatically, just like that, that I know that Cunha and Bruno will be there by the time I get on the ball on the right hand side, or even on the left hand side. But what happens right now, and I'm giving an example, is that if I'm on the right hand side dribbling, beating my man, what will happen if there's not patterns of play is the fact that Cunha may not be in the box. Bruno may not be at the edge of the area where I want him to be. But instead, what will happen is that he's going to be near me. And Cunha's probably going to be on the far post. And I'm like, to man, Bruno, you're meant to be at the edge of the box. No one isn't there. There's massive space there. No one isn't there to take advantage. So that way you give your teammate options and also to exploit the opposition. This is what I mean about the patterns of play. But then when you don't have man there, it becomes difficult. This is how it was, and this is how bare negative your Amram system is. And then also in the beginning of the game, I was like, to start Mount, which we'll talk about later on, because Mount, man, absolutely brilliant man in this game. Let's keep it 100. Like I've said this for a minute in the previous videos, that I will always, I'm a critic here of Mount, Bruno, who are called Mr. Spamming, and them man there. But when I see good things, I'll praise them. And Mount, well done in that performance, because in the beginning of this game, when I saw the lineup, I was like, it is beyond me that Mount started over Xerxes in this game, because Xerxes played well in the previous game. And like how we were playing in this game, right? It reminded me of how poor Man United are. This was in the first half, because you can tell that the way that we played, we were lethargic. And fam, bear in mind, right? Look what happened here when we faced against West Ham, and that was our level at the time. And there were some mistakes happening, especially with, again, Mr. Spanning Bruno, fam. Like, I remember in the 20th minute, he wanted to do a first time pass, but what happened was that I think he miskicked it, and it was almost a break for Wolves. But then 3 minutes after, Mr. Spamming scored the goal. It was fam. It was probably one of the most bookiest goal I've ever seen. I mean, like, how can Wolves here concede a goal like that, fam? Like, Bruno, man, was on the floor, man, wrestling here with man when he struck the ball, and fam, he was on the floor when he struck the ball. When he struck the ball, he kind of struck the floor with the ball. The ball bumbled, hit the goalkeeper, and it went in. And then this knee slide and them man there, man. Harry Maguire settings, them way there. And, like, and for, man, Wolves meant to concede a goal like that, fam, you have to relegate them, blood. But we take it, man. Cunha as well, man, with his assist as well. So that's good on him. Even though that it wasn't the most greatest assist, but he would take it. Them way there. And during the game, man, I wanted Man United, man, to kill off the game because we saw that Wolves, man, were growing into the game. I was like, fam, what are you doing? Just do something, because there were a couple of chances, including Belgrade, if that's his name, cut inside, but he crowed it over, and we saw him and his teammates getting into it, getting the ball into the box, and then they scored. 46 minutes, they scored. The goal was very, very good, man. Like, he stretched for the ball as he shot it. At the same time, putting power into it. That was a really good goal, that one. I tell you that. A really, really sick goal, man. Them way there. Absolutely brilliant, fam. And I can tell that, you can tell in that game, no one looked great in that game. Probably Majrari, he played well in the first half. Like I said before, man, because the first half, you could just tell, man, like the way Amram sets up, you can tell that this is the thing that why that me I'm not getting too excited, about this game. Like I said, it's only Wolves. The thing about it is that Amram's system, the way he sets up, man, is nothing short but abysmal, blood. Because in this game, right, against Wolves, we were allowed, man, to be sloppy with our passes. That's how bad Wolves were, and that's how bad we are. And I'm not getting all gassed about this performance. And if you watch my videos here for a minute, for a long time thing, you know that I didn't get excited yet when we were in that 3-win, that 3-win unbeaten thing. I didn't get excited last time. Then when we drew, when we won our games, I've been consistent, them way there. And the man them know that me, I'm shameless, but in these kind of situations, you can't be shameless, blood. Because it looked like as if only Amram's system can only work against teams like Wolves. That doesn't give us any confidence. But it worked against Wolves. Because Wolves, they didn't create anything. We had a total of let me just check out quickly, fam. "27 shots yesterday, blood, and Wolves, you only had 8. Didn't even pose much of a threat. And then also there was a moment in the 48th minute here where there's a pass here from Mount, really sick pass from Mount, Really, it was like a I wouldn't say it was an outside the boot thing, but it was something like because I've done it before in football. It's something like it's something like a chip. You know, when you're chipping the ball, or when you're doing like a low cross, but it's not like that. It's like as if the ball is like this to your feet, and then as you go like this, the ball's right here and it swerves. That's what he did, and it got to Imbremo, really really sick. But at the end of it, man, like Cunha wasn't able to get the ball off his feet, and then 2 minutes after, easy goal. 50th minute, and Bremer scored his 7th goal. Quick passing, but like I said before, man, this is the minimum of what we expected from Man United. This performance is the minimum. This is why that no one should get gassed by this performance. You know, and it was good that Dialogue was going forward as well. And then after that, let's a quick thing here on the next goal. 62nd minute, another goal. Mason Mount, Bruno, pick that one out, man, for a good crossing into the box from the right. First time volley. Saifo, pick that one out, man, yeah, from Mount. Good finish. I mean, I like it when players do that. Like, they're very quick. They know exactly what they're going to do, blood. Not like they take their time. But Mount had... I think Mountman had like probably a split second to think about what he's gonna do, even though it may look like as if he had a little bit of time, but pick that one out, blood. And he absolutely sick. And let me just say this, right? I have to say this because I've said this before. Mount played well in this game, especially where he was operating. And if he continued this, we will never know, because like, we got players here who are going to the AFCON, like Imbremo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui. So it to be so then definitely, man, Amram, man, for the sake here of what you are doing, because like I said before, the system, he has to keep him fit. But we'll talk about him more later. And then from there, all I was saying to myself is like, please, fam, Amram, don't do some bookery. Don't bring in some substitution. No substitution. Things are going well. Can you see, man, yeah, that PTSD thing that he's been doing here for all that time? You see that, fam? Brother, you see that? It's giving us that kind of thing like, no, don't ruin it. But then he brought on Mazraoui. He took off, Mazraoui and Haven for Euro and Martinez. These pre-planned subs, them way there. The thing about Amram is that he sees the defense as the most important part, as we saw those subs coming in. Like I say, in the last matches before, and I'm like, please don't do some foolishness with these pre-planned subs. That cost us top 4 so many times beforehand. And the thing about it is that if you do that, no, let me say this right. If you had brought on the right place at the right time, Man United would have been comfortably in the top 4 right about now, probably 3rd. Because the reason why I'm saying this is because defenders, when you bring in defenders, it gives messages here to the opponent and to your players. When your players see that you bring in defenders, what happens is that immediately, instinctively, the players are like, oh, we now are going to defend and hold this win. And then not even that, it gives the opposition to say, oh, they're defending. Okay, you know what? Let's bring in more attackers. And also, it's even vice versa, like the fact that if you bring in attackers, what does the players have in mind? Oh, we're going for the attack. We're going here for more goals in this game. And then after, it gives the opposition something to think about. Oh no, they're putting more strikers. They're going for the win. They're going to kill us. So when you bring in defenders, what kind of message do you give? And like I said, man, luckily it was against Wolves. Luckily it was against Wolves, blood. And 77th minute, Manu. You know, and this was the place where Manu got his winning goal last season. Here, no, not is it not last season? No, I think it was season before with Ten Hag. This was the place, you know, the Molineux, you know, where he scored the winning goal. You know, Manu, and it was good to see Manu on the pitch. You know, them way there. And you can tell probably he's bringing Manu on just because like, he's been pressured, because we've been seeing journalists, you know, pressuring him that why couldn't you bring Manu? Because Manu is an attacking option. He can hold the ball. Not like these cardio players like Ogate and, you know, and at times Mount. We need players that can hold the ball. You know, and when you have Wolves that open up your soul, like what they did yesterday, what do you expect? Obviously, we're going to carve them open. And like I said before, the system is bad, but it works against Wolves. And then it was a handball in the box, man, in the box. You know, I think what's his name? Is it Mosquera? When the ball was struck, he was trying to, I think it was from Ahmad. Was it from Ahmad? Anyway, but he was trying to move his hand away. When I saw it, I was like, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty, because he's trying to move his hand away, because his hand was already there. And he was trying to move, but the ball, you know, like when you do things in slow motion, obviously it's gonna look bad as it was when it was fast, when it was in normal pace. But we take it, and great penalty by Mr. Spamming, you know, them way there. So yeah, I mean, we pretty much, man, got away with it, man, in this game. And you know, especially how Mr. Spamming were and Casemiro were, you know, positionally. And the thing about it is that it allowed Bruno, man, to do whatever he wanted, since it was against Wolves. And you know, you know, like I said in the previous video, like I don't like it, yeah, how far apart Casemiro and Mr. Spamming is. I don't like it. But this game, because how Wolves were, and how, you know, especially against the worst and useless team in the league, doing that worked. You know. Okay, yeah, Dogu Zuxi came on the 83rd minute. You know, afterwards Zuxi does here for what he did, you know, for you know, like I said, man, against in the previous game. You know, man's on the bench, but you know, having those kind of like this rustless minutes, you know, them way there. But in this game, Manu and Xerxes, man, they were balling out, man, when they came on. And the way Wolves, man, have been moving, they have been in the league here for a minute, you know. But the way things are, especially, man, in this game, and how that we were carving them open, it was one of those ones where it was like, I insist, after you, because like, how bad can you be? You know, like I said, man, it was beyond me how we are where we are right now in the league, despite the fact of how poorly we've been playing. Ahmad, one of my favorite players, man, he played poor yesterday. Too many touches. His decision making was all over the place, and he wanted to shoot instead of to pass many times in that game. And I don't know what's going on here with this form going up and down. It's more like a heart monitor, you know, them way there. And same with Bremer. Probably their minds, yeah, for the AFCON. So, you know, I think they're trying to look after themselves, you know. And, you know, Cunha, my guy. Cunha, blood. You can tell Cunha really was dying here for a goal. You can just tell. But it was a bookie thing still, because I can see that Zerki's performance here had been great, especially scoring goals. And, you know, Cunha, you know, Xerxes is a number 9, a different number 9, a link play number 9. Like Firmino, you know, a very underrated player, Firmino. What a baller he was for Liverpool. But Cunha, he's not a number 9. He's not been great as a number 9. In number 9, he's not even a number 9. And you can't blame man for that because he's not a number 9. And the thing about it is that the problem is that the fact that he's a maverick who likes freedom, that he thrives here in this kind of situation where the system goes through him. And when it doesn't, he becomes frustrated. And this is where that you see, Bruno having freedom and a player that who also wants freedom. And what happens is that they clash. And you gotta be very, very smart. Especially Amram, gotta be very, very smart. Like I said, to get the best out of your players. If certain players, man, thrive here on playing with freedom, that's mavericks. I'm not saying Mr. Spamming Bruno is a maverick, no, but what I'm trying to say is that he plays with freedom. And when the system goes through him, instead of Cunha, he will struggle. So, yeah. And man may ask me, are you happy with this win? It's not just that. I'm glad that we did, but I'm like, move on to the next game. That's how I am. Because we can't complain with that result. We just have to just move on. And we're 6 now, I think. Yeah, just double checking. We're 6 now, level with Chelsea. And like I said, man, we should have been in the top 4 by now. If it wasn't because just because of the way, man, like how bad Amram set up the team and subs, bringing all those pre-planned subs, man, beforehand. But like I said, man, I want to speak about Mount quickly. Mount, well done, blood. Well done. I want to give you your flowers, man. Well done. Like I said, man, I praise when I see things, and I critique you when things go bad. And Bruno, I'll say this before I talk about Mount. Mr. Spamming Bruno, right? In terms of stats, today's game, stat padding. Okay, he scored a goal, scored a penalty, and then getting an assist from Mount's goal. Well done. Keep that up, blood. Keep that up, especially with the fixtures we have next. Keep that up. I said this for a minute, that the reason why I'm on Bruno, Mr. Spamming, bare times, is because he's the captain. All right. Let's move on to Mount. Since Bruno gave that fantastic assist here for Mount's brilliant goal. He played well, detected the game. When he received the ball, he's passing in the pocket, especially in the half space, and the dead system of Amram. Absolutely brilliant, blood. Absolutely brilliant, fam. Big man thing. Absolutely sick, fam. So I give Mount his flowers, and his goal, like I said, absolutely sick stuff. It took until Wolves, man, for Amram's system to work. Them way there. And Wolves, like I said, they have been bad, and we have also been bad. Like I said, man, if you can keep this momentum going, fairs. But like I said before in the previous video, what Man I tend to do is that we win, we're okay, or like if we win against a good team, everybody get gassed, but I don't. And what happened is that we go up into a kind of like a detection in terms of, yes, sick stuff. And then we lose and everybody goes down. Because we're hoping. Less of that. No, less of that. That's what I'm saying, man. It's only Wolves, blood. So no one, man, should get giddy or gassy by this scoreline. And I've been looking at the fixtures, right? The next games. We got Bournemouth home. We got Aston Villa away. Newcastle home, blood. This is where Amram, man, earn his bread, fam. Especially with when Mbeumo, Ahmad, and Mazraoui are off to AFCON. Fam, I hope he adapts, Amram, but I don't know because he's a stubborn guy. Well, we just have to just find out. But let me tell you something, blood. It's only Wolves, fam. Move on to the next game.